tough enough to survive that.
England's top three have 16 ducks between them in this calendar year, which is a world record by 3.
You need hard work, you need practice, right? You need focus. But these are words which are not popular.
It won't be on the back of we've got a good batting side, because you take Joe Root out of that side and it's hard to see, well, there isn't a big score from anyone.
The words that are popular are fun, whack, enjoy, hit it hard, intent, find a way. Yeah, find a way to the bloody pavilion, quickly.
Hello and welcome to another First Class Cricket Academy podcast. As usual, I'm joined by Raj and Darren. But what is going to be a pretty down podcast for Darren and myself. But Raj, I'm sure you are absolutely loving life at the moment.
I'm quite happy about the way we won the game, shall I say?
Yeah.
I'm not going to rub it too much into you guys.
Darren?
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah.
Oh, God, that was the game and a half, wasn't it? Right. Also, I don't know where to start, to be honest, because that game tipped and turned and kept changing. But I suppose, Raj, I think we'll come straight to England's batting. So, first innings, they got over 300, but most of that came from Joe Root. England have got to find a way now to try and put more 300 plus ways on the board, but not using just Joe Root. How is that going to work, do you reckon?
They've got to change, obviously, the personnel. And it's not that there are not players in the country who bat properly. And I think people like Milan, Vince, they all bat properly. And they have to stop this love affair with people with lots of idiosyncrasies in their batting. Now, one thing you got to understand is, yes, every person has his own style. So when someone starts learning how to write in English, right, and they start learning and they are aware of the basics of the English language, they start writing essays, paragraphs, etc. But my style, for example, will be different to Darren's. Darren's style will be different to yours. Your style might be different to Theo's. But everyone has to have a certain amount of fundamentals. I can't write I is or I are, right? If I write I have to write am, shall, will. Okay. After that, my style can be different, obviously. But if I start writing I is or I are, there's a fundamental problem. Now, in cricket, there are certain fundamentals you can't ignore as a batsman. Okay? So you got to get in line. You got to know where your off stump is. You got to get behind the ball. You got to have virtues called patience, dedication, application, concentration, not this no consequence, no fear nonsense of strike rate, asking rate crap. No. In test match cricket, you bat. Right. When you feel like, okay, can I have a go? You look at the scoreboard, add 3 wickets to the score and see if the scoreboard is decent or not. And if it's not, you still bat. And that's exactly what people like Rahul and Joe Root did. When Rohit was on 80, Rahul was still on 18. Can you imagine what would happen in a local scenario of you playing in a club game or a school game or an age group game, and you're batting with someone else, and what feedback you would have got if you were in that scenario? So it is no point blaming those guys who are doing the job in the middle. It's a process that has been going on, as I say, since 2008. And if they don't arrest that, within few years, there's going to be no batsman to play Test cricket.
Well, Darren, speaking of style, I think we'll come straight to Rahul and Sharma, and even Shami, to be honest. Their innings was quite something to watch.
Yes, it was. And also, I think what has become a little bit overlooked after what happened at the end yesterday on the last day, on Sunday lunchtime, I think India were 50 for 3, something like that, just 20 ahead. And I think Rahane and Pujara put on 100 and took about 260, 270 balls to do it by batting properly, because England were bowling really, really well at them. But they just played and played and played. And these were two guys who were probably in sticky form coming into this test. But they
were in danger of getting dropped.
Yeah, they gussed it out. They fought it out. They knew where their off stump was. They left well. They defended well. And they put on I mean, if they'd have both gone at that point, India were toast, regardless of what the two bowlers did at the end yesterday. So, yeah, and we're not really in a position with the guy, as Raj has said, I don't think we can blame some of the guys that are in there, because they've been put in there. It's, if their techniques aren't up to it, that's maybe not their fault. But there are other guys to pick from. It looks like they might go with Milan or Vince, or maybe even Pope if he's fit. And there's some other younger players who are getting runs this year as well. So there are players out there. Whether they make wholesale changes for next week, I don't know. I'm not sure they will, because England don't generally do that. But this has been going on, as Raj said, since 2008. It's come to a head this year. If I can nick a couple of stats off Andy Zaltzman, England's top 3 have 16 ducks between them in this calendar year, which is a world record by 3. And there's still about 5 tests left to play. And 10 of those ducks have come from our openers, which is also a world record. So it's all come to a head this year. Hopefully something will get done about it, and they will go back to picking guys with good, solid techniques who know where their off stump is, and not guys who can, hit the ball hard and whose bat swing goes from 1.5 slip to mid-wicket.
Actually, Raj, speaking about, DJ was telling about how it's likely they might go back to Milan, Vince, all these players that have already been in the system. It's the same story every time. It seems to be like they pick someone with not a great technique, not great experience, and then ditch them. Is that not unfair on the player they've picked, as they're always going down the same route of getting someone who they've already had in the team?
I don't think if it's unfair if the guy has been given at least 5-6 games. Now, you can't say that Sibley and Burns have not been given enough opportunity, or Dan Lawrence has not been given enough opportunity, right? You have been given. Been given 5, 6, 7 games. Now, no one is going to give you 10, 12 innings of international cricket and you don't do anything and persist with you. That doesn't happen. This is a hard world. This is international cricket. This is a pinnacle of cricket. And you have to be mentally, physically, technically tough enough to survive that. If you can't take that, you're in the wrong place. Isn't it? Yeah, if you are taken and dumped after 1 game or 2 games, then yes. But like now, Hamid has come back. He has to be given a run. If they drop him now after 1 failure or 2 failures, then that is being unfair. So you got to get.
They keep going down the same route. They keep going. They always go back on themselves. They drop the people, put people in, then go back again.
Yeah, but Hamid had an injury. He had a bit of a rough time, and he's now come back. So you got to, and he had already scored runs in Test cricket. So you got to give him a bit of a run, And he did score runs in India against India, which not very many do. Right. And so you got to give him a run. And you got to give him the confidence. And after that, if he doesn't deliver, then yes, you got to go and look somewhere else. But whoever they bring back, they have to give them a run. If they are good enough to get into the team, they have to give them a run.
Darren,
if you see all successful teams in world cricket over the years, it's difficult to get into that team, and it's even more difficult to get out of that team. Okay, you can't chop and change, because if you chop and change, not only do you harm the player who you've chopped and changed, you create insecurity in your batting order. Because that's the last thing you want to do, is create insecurity amongst your batsmen, because it's a one ball game. Okay.
Yeah. So Darren, what do you think was the biggest standout between India and England? Do you reckon it was the mindset? Was it due to that England got a bit, not angry, but what happened on the third day of the third evening to Jimmy Anderson versus Jasprit Bumrah? Do you reckon that was still in the back of their heads?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was whether ego is the right word, it was probably a bit of that. Yeah, because having got Rishabh Pant out, I think the lead was about 160 at that point, 7 or 8 down. The openers would be thinking, we're going in soon, we're only chasing 180, we'll knock these off. Whereas they would have obviously struggled to, the way things turned out. But yeah, and I didn't actually see it. I've watched highlights, and I heard that they had 6 guys on the boundary to blokes who are batting 9 and 10, one who averages 2 and one who averages 8, I think. And Michael Vaughan said on a podcast I saw earlier, he said there was a noticeable momentum change in the whole game about an hour before lunch on the last day. Now, as I said, I didn't see it. You were there. I mean, could you hear that in the crowd? Could you see that going on? Or?
Well, personally, you could definitely see Kohli was revving the crowd up. So you could tell it definitely heated up after lunch. But yeah, personally, from watching that, I do think that was a big input into what made India win, to be honest.
And also, I think you mentioned mindset, and I think that's got a lot to do with it. Because England are big fans on breaking test matches down to sessions and days. And if you look at the test, India won the first day easily. Then England, I think it's fair to say, won the next 3 days. And we're on top going into the last day. But I just think there's, as well as being a better side, I think they've got more belief as well, a lot of these Indian guys, whereas there's a lot of doubt with these England guys because they've got no runs behind them apart from Joe Root and a little bit Johnny Bairstow in this test. But yeah, and I'm not sure how they dig themselves out of this. I mean, they'll probably surprise us all and win the next test, but if they do win the next test, it'll be on the back of the fact we've got a very good seam attack. But it won't be on the back of we've got a good batting side, because you take Joe Root out of that side and it's hard to see, well, there isn't a big score from anyone. There might be a 50 or 60 from someone, but there isn't a match-turning score from any of the others, I don't think.
Raj, speaking like Joe Root, so you got him scoring stacks of runs so far this summer. Fingers crossed he keeps doing it. Why can't other people in that England team do what he's doing?
One word: technique, which is a banned word in England. That's the reason. He plays really close to his body. He plays late. He doesn't have any funky, quirky stuff going on, right? Not 20 movements before the bowler releases the ball. Keeps it simple. Watches the ball, plays the ball late. Simple stuff. Is balanced. Doesn't try and overhit the ball.
So then, Raj, why isn't the word technique? Why isn't that liked in this country? When did that come into play?
Okay, if you go back to the time when England went to India and won that test series, which I think they did about after 27 or 28 years. Now let's get back to that batting order of that England side. It was Cook, Strauss, Bell, Peterson, Trott, Pryor. Okay, so that is 6 guys who all batted differently, but who had all good fundamentals. And that was almost the same sort of side that used to play in the shorter format as well. But now there's this hype. So you are not judged on the runs you score. You are judged more on your strike rate. And this is going to get worse. With 100 on, it's going to get worse. Okay? And to bat like Joe Root, you need dedication. You need discipline. You need hard work. You need practice, right? You need focus. But these are words which are not popular. The words that are popular are fun, whack, enjoy, hit it hard, intent, find a way. Yeah, find a way to the bloody pavilion quickly. Yes, that's what it is. How can you have fun? Just tell me this. You are a young cricketer. How can you have fun when you get out for a duck? How can you have fun if you have had a shocking day on the field? How can you have fun when you bowl 1 over and you get taken to the cleaners? But no, you can't drill a person. You can't practice properly because it's boring. Drilling a skill is boring. So what do we want? We want hee hee ha ha, touch cones, all that nonsense crap. And that has only happened from 2008. Now the funniest part is this all happened after the IPL started. But back home in India, we do not do this crap. We still go on and go on the fundamentals. Our domestic cricket structure, till under 17, I think, we don't play any T20.
But Raj, would that be hard to employ here?
It's not hard to employ if the guys who are on the coaching pathways and who are involved with cricketers or the better players are actually players themselves. But when you go out and dish out certificates to people like my granny and my mum, right? Okay, and that is what is going to happen.
Anything to add, Darren, on that situation?
No, I mean, you're nearer the sort of youth sports system than I am. Is there any other sport in this country where you are not taught the fundamentals first? I don't think there is.
Probably not.
I can't think of one.
I can't, no.
Yeah. I mean, I know Kevin Peterson's got a job to do at the moment promoting this 100. And he said, the first thing we need to teach kids to do is hit 4s and 6s because that's fun. And I know he's only saying that because that is the product he's pushing at the moment. But can that be right? Because then you have, I mean, it's all right they play these pairs cricket at the moment, but the moment they get to 12, 13, and it becomes quite a brutal game because if you're out, and that's the end of your day. Suddenly they get, don't like this, I'm going to go and play my PlayStation or whatever.
Darren, should that be started earlier, do you reckon? You're out cricket.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can understand it for 8, 9, 10-year-olds, but from then on, fine. I think it goes to about 12, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think,
How is it that we can get people who are 6, 7, 8 years old, people like Om, who couldn't even pick up a bat, can come in and drive through the offside on the front foot, punch on the back foot, pull, play cricket shots? How is it difficult? Yes, it's a bit boring to start with, but maths homework is boring. Did you enjoy doing maths homework? You tell me. You didn't, did you? But you had to do it. If you wanted to pass your exam, you had to do it. If you don't want to play the game, you don't have patience, you don't have concentration, get lost. I don't care.
I suppose it relates in the way if you work, you get a good outcome, you pass, you don't have to do it again. Same if you work hard in cricket, you get 100, you've done your job.
Exactly. Exactly. You do well, you'll enjoy it. You don't do well, you won't enjoy it. How will you enjoy being crap at anything you do? I'm crap at singing, right? I can't enjoy that, singing in front of people and getting ridiculed. I might go and sing in the bathroom, but I wouldn't sing in public because that's shocking. So how can someone who's bad go and enjoy being bad in front of people? You can't enjoy it. This is a nonsense concept. If you can't drive, now you learning to drive? No?
Yeah.
If you can't drive at 20 miles an hour, right, it's going to be disaster if you're taken to the motorway and left to yourself on the outside lane.
Yeah.
That's common sense, isn't it? And what absolutely riles me is common people have to make a lot of compromises in life, right? Because money is an issue. So you might have to bite your tongue and bite the bullet because though you don't like or agree with things, you have to get on with it because your job is at stake. But when superstars do that nonsense, that is not need, that is greed. And that's what people like what Darren mentioned they're doing. Just because they've been paid, they're talking nonsense.
Darren's been about need and greed. Coming on England going up north to Headingley, what is going to be quite a big test match for them to win, and it's a must-win. I think it's a must-win test match for them. So, what do you reckon is going to change for them going up there?
I'm not sure. I've heard there's a rumour Wood when he dived has done his shoulder, so he's probably going to be out. But who do they bring into that? I mean, give Craig Overton a go. I think he bats a little bit, doesn't he? But that's not going to solve the problem. The problem's at the top of the order. And as I said earlier, I think two of Pope, Milan and Vince will come in. Hopefully they'll stick with Hamid, which I think they will, for the same reason they keep Bairstow in, because they'll give him the whole series, I think.
Do you think Burns should be kept in, Darren?
I think he's got a couple more games than the others simply because he got a test 100 2 tests ago. For no other reason than that. And there's a weird thing to say after we've just had a go at techniques, but he does look like someone who can stick around and score a few more runs than the Sibleys and probably the Crawleys of this world. And so I'd bring Milan in. Big fan of him, always have been. Pope, if he's fit, I think they'll bring him in as well. So I think what they'll do opening wise, I would put Hamid up there because he opens. He went in number 3. I mean, he was nervous as anything. You could see that. I mean, a player at that level doesn't miss a straight half volley first ball unless he's nervous or whatever it is. But bowling wise, I'm not sure. Do they bring an actual frontline spinner in? I don't know. But that, as we say, that's not the problem. England haven't got issues taking 20 Indian wickets. They've got issues scoring 600 runs in a test match over 2 innings. So.
Raj, what do you reckon India would do? Drop Kohli? Not scoring any runs?
I think this side, unless someone gets injured, I think this same side is going to be playing.
I heard a rumour on a podcast, if it's dry, Sharma goes out and
Yeah,
Ashwin comes in.
that's obvious. I was coming to that. If it's dry, obviously they will play Ashwin, but I doubt it's going to be dry up north in Headingley, especially. So I don't think, unless we have an injury, there is some change that's going to happen. Now, one thing, just following on from what you asked, in any society, right, you can make money. I'm just giving you an analogy. You can make money in any way, right? You can make money by doing a decent business. You can make money being a professional in any sphere. You can make money, being an artist. You can make money that way, or you can make money the wrong ways. You can make money robbing a bank. You can make money from drugs, right? You can make money that way as well. But your parents or people who care about you will not be happy if you went the second way, right? Similarly, in batting, there is a way to bat. Okay, in T20 cricket, you can't come and tell me that Rohit Sharma can't play T20 cricket. You can't tell me that Virat Kohli can't play T20 cricket, or Joe Root can't play T20 cricket. Ken Williamson can't play T20 cricket. But why is this fascination for people who only play the T20 format and know one way, which is the baseball way? And that is what is hurting England. They're trying to turn cricket into crickball. When you play crickball, everything changes. It's a different skill. And that skill doesn't help the moment you come back to the red ball. There is no way that KL Rahul is not a good T20 player, if you tell me. No one can say in the world KL Rahul can't play T20 cricket. He can play all the shots. Well, he does not play bloody baseball. Just because some reject from somewhere has gone and spent time with some baseball unit and sold an idea, and some people have invested in that. I don't agree with that.
That's like robbing a bank, Raj.
If your idols are wrong, you will be in the wrong lane. If your idols are right, you will more or less find something proper in life.
Darren, anything to add on that just before we probably wrap this up?
Not really. But I mean, another quote Sunil Gavaskar said yesterday, a friend of Raj's, when he was asked to describe the techniques of the England openers, the word he came up with was ludicrous, which I think is fair enough. And there's a guy who knows a little bit about opening the batting in Test cricket, I think.
He's not my friend, right? He's very kind that he has spent some time with me. He's not my friend in any case. Okay, he's someone I respect massively, and it's my honor, privilege, whatever you call it, that I've been able to spend some time with him.
Right, I think we will finish that podcast there. Thank you, Darren, and thank you, Raj. And thank you for everyone who subscribes. If you can subscribe, that would really be good. If we can try and get to 600, that would be amazing. So we'll see you up in Leeds. Thanks for listening.